Okay, so here's your composition functions. So f of x and g of x is just the way we name different functions. So they could be named that, they could be named h of x, j of x, all of that stuff. It's just the name of the function. They're all basically just y here. So if you have this here, f plus g of x, that is add function f of x and g of x together. F minus g of x, f of x minus g of x. If you have just fg in parentheses of x, that is multiply the two functions. F over g of x, divide the two functions. And then you have these two here, which are your composition functions. So you have f with kind of almost like a degree sign. This is f of g of x. So this is plug g of x into f of x. G of f of x is plug f of x into g of x. So let's work some examples. Show you all of these. So we're going to let f of x be 5x minus 4, and g of x is x plus 8. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to first do f plus g of x, which means I'm doing f of x plus g of x. So if f of x is 5x minus 4, and g of x is x plus 8, I'm just adding these together, combining like terms. Okay, so this is just 5x plus x would give me a 6x. Negative 4 plus 8 would give me a positive 4. So combine the two functions. I just have 6x plus 4. For number 2, I have f minus g of x, which would be f of x minus g of x. So I'm going to have 5x minus 4 minus x plus 8. Now when I'm subtracting and there's more than one term after the subtraction sign, I do have to distribute that subtraction sign. So here I will take this 5x minus 4, bring it down, but then I'm going to distribute the minus. So this is going to be minus x minus 8. Then I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to have 5x minus x to give me 4x, and negative 4 minus 8, negative 12. Number 3, you have fg of x. So this means multiply the two functions, so f of x times g of x. So 5x minus 4 times x minus plus 8. So there we would FOIL. 5x times x would give us a 5x squared. 5x times 8 would give us a positive 40x. Negative 4 times x, negative 4x. And negative 4 times 8, negative 32. Then if I combine my like terms here, I'm going to get a 5x squared plus 36x minus 32. Okay, so they're composition functions. I'm just making a new function out of one or more other functions. Number 4, there are two ways to go about that. So for fg with a number inside, you could first multiply f of x times g of x, which we did right here. So we did that. And then you would plug negative 1 in. So 5 times negative 1 squared plus 36 times negative 1 minus 32. So that would give us, let's see, negative 1 squared would give us a positive 1. So this would just be a 5 minus 36 minus 32. So negative 63 check my head math here. 5 minus 36 minus 32, negative 63. The other way you could do this is you could do f of negative 1 times g of negative 1. Do that with the numbers as well. So if you didn't already multiply these together, it's probably easier to do this one. But since we had already multiplied these together, we could just plug that number in. So for f of negative 1, you'd have 5 times negative 1 minus 4, which would give you negative 9. G of negative 1, you'd have negative 1 plus 8, which would give you a positive 7. So negative 9 times 7 gives you a negative 63. So, like I said, if you didn't already do what we did in number 3, this would be the easier route to go. Okay, but if you did already do it, either one is fine. Now, number 5 is divisions. This is f of x over g of x. So this is just 5x minus 4 over x plus 8. If you can simplify it, do, but here you can't. So that's it. So in example 2, we have f of x is 4x squared minus 3x minus 10, and g of x is x minus 2. So we're going to add these together, f plus g of x. And then it would just be plus x minus 2. Since it's addition, I do not need a parentheses. Like we talked about last week, you can go back and watch the recording, but we do need to move forward. Okay, so here I would do 4x squared. I've got like terms here, negative 3x plus x, negative 2x. And then negative 10 minus 2 would be a negative 12. And that's all I can do there. And then for subtraction, you do want parentheses. So you have a 4x squared minus 3x minus 10, then minus x minus 2. Okay, because there's more than one term after the parentheses, we're going to want to distribute that. So we're going to have a 4x squared minus 3x minus 10, then minus x plus 2. Okay, then let's see. We've got 4x squared. You have minus 3x minus x will give us a negative 4x. And then negative 10 plus 2, negative 8. So 4x squared minus 4x minus 8. All right, then example 3 is the composition function. So this is kind of new here, if you haven't seen them before. Not for example 3. For the example 2, yes, it was. All right, so we have f of x is negative 2x minus 4, and g of x is x minus 6. So we want f of g of x. So what it looks like is this, f with g of x plugged in. So you're going to start from the outside here. Start with your f of x function. So f of x is negative 2x minus 4. Now you want f of g of x. Okay, so we're going to change g of x to gray. And then we'll go back and forth here. just so I can color code this for you guys. So -2, now this x becomes g of x. So g of x is x minus 6. So this x minus 6 goes for this x. So it looks like that. So g of x goes into the function for the x, or all of the x's if there's more than one. So this is what it looks like. So f of g of x has g of x plugged in for the x function. Okay, g of x is the x minus 6. And then we work it out. So we do -2 times x is a -2x. -2 times -6 would give us a +12, and then -4. So we say f of g of x is -2x plus 8. Okay, let's go down to number 2 before we go up to 3. Number 2, you have g of f of x. So we're going to start with g of x. Which is x, what was it, x minus 6, right? Yeah. And then you're going to do g of f of x. So what is f of x here? It's going to go right here. So what was f of x? -2x minus 4. All right, so f of x goes into the function, bring the rest down, and then simplify. So all this is here is just -2x minus 4 minus 6. So -2x minus 10. I don't see any multiplication to need to distribute. So this x just becomes the f of x function. So the f of x function goes right there. Just like if I said g of 1, you'd put a 1 in right there. Instead of it being a number, it's another function. So let's go up to number 3. Now again, with the numbers inside, you have two options. So the first option is to do f of g of x and then plug the number in. So we already did it over here. So you could do that. You just take your f of g of x and plug 2 in. So f of g of 2 would be -2 times 2 plus 8. So -4 plus 8, 4. So if you've already done f of g of x, do that. If you have not, okay, here's the other way you can do this. You have f of g of 2. So when we did f of g of x, we started from the outside with the f of x. When there is a number that you're plugging in, start from the inside. So do g of 2 first. So g of 2 is going to be, let's see, x minus 6, so 2 minus 6. G of 2 is -4. Since g of 2 is -4, and you're doing f of g of 2, you're doing f of -4. So f of -4 is going to be -2 times -4 minus 4, which would give us a +8 minus 4, 4. So either way you did this, you would still get the same solution. And then once you get the hang of these, they're actually kind of fun because you're plugging things in and finding new functions here. All right, we got one more example down here, I think. So g of f of -2. Again, we already did g of f of x. So we can take this, we can say g of f of x is -2x minus 10. So if we plug -2 in, 2 times -2 minus 10. So -2 times -2 is 4. That's going to give us a -6. Okay, if we had not already done that, what we want to do is we want to go g of f of -2 and start from the inside. So we want to find f of -2, which would be -2 times -2 minus 4. That would be +4 minus 4, so that would give us 0. So we'd have f of -2 equals 0. And since we're doing g of f of -2, we're doing g of 0. So g of 0 would be 0 minus 6, which would again give us that -6 number. All right, so we have a few practice problems. We've got some time. So take 5 minutes for the practice problems, and then we'll go over those. Okay, I know you guys probably aren't done yet, but we only have about 8 minutes of class left, so we want to go over these. So number 1, I'm doing f of g of x. Okay, so I'm just going to write that here, f of g of x. Okay, so I'm going to start with my f function, f of x equals 6x minus 3. So I want g of x in there right here. Okay, so I want this to become g of x, which is x squared minus 4. Then bring down the rest of it. So bring the 6 in front and the minus 3 afterwards. Okay, that is going to give you f of g of x. Then distribute combine like terms. So 6 times x squared, 6x squared, 6 times -4, -24, minus 3. We're going to get 6x squared minus 27. All right, let's look at number 2. So g of f of x. All right, so g of x is x squared minus 4. And I want to plug f of x in. So I'm plugging it in for this x. That will become f of x. Okay, which is 6x minus 3. Okay, if I go back to the original, lost my color there. All right, so x squared minus 4, that's the x part, squared minus 4. Then I have to work that out. Okay, so 6x minus 3 squared, 6x minus 3 times 6x minus 3 minus 4. Okay, then I want a FOIL. So 6x times 6x will give me a 36x squared. 6x times negative 3, negative 18x. Negative 3 times 6x, negative 18x. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9, minus 4. So there I'm going to have, let's see, 36x squared minus 36x plus 5. All right, while we're doing this, let's go over to g of f of negative 1. You can plug negative 1 in here if you'd like, or we can do g of f of negative 1 and start with f of negative 1. Okay, so f of negative 1 is going to be 6 times negative 1 minus 3. So negative 6 minus 3. I get f of negative 1 is negative 9. Okay, then I want g of f of negative 1. So g of that is doing g of negative 9, because f of negative 1 is negative 9. So then g is x squared minus 4. So negative 9 squared minus 4. That would give me 81 minus 4. 77. All right, and let's go up to number 3. We have f of g of 5. We already did f of g of x, so this one I'm going to take this. This is number 3. Just give me a minute. I want to do this one. We have 3 minutes of class left. Okay, so 6 times 5 squared minus 27. So 5 squared is going to be 25. Six times 25 is going to give us 150. Minus 27, 123. Okay, so number 5, we have g of x. So our g of x function is, that was 6x minus 3, I believe. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we have g of x, and g of x is going to be 6x minus 3. So we are plugging in this x, our g of x function, because we have g of x. So g of x is going to be 6x minus 3 again. So for g of x, we have 6 times our g of x function, 6x minus 3, and then minus 3 comes down. Let me just check the function here. Oops. Yes, okay. Oh, I did f of x. That's my bad. G of x is x squared minus 4. We'll come back, but let's just go forward with this, because you could do the same thing for f of 1. Okay, so these are f's. Okay, so if I'm doing f of 1, I can go ahead and work out the composition function, and then I can plug 1 in. So here I would go 6 times x would be a 36x. 6 times negative 3 would be negative 18 minus 3. So the composition function would be 36x minus 21. And then if I want to find f of 1, I just plug 1 in here. So 36 times 1 minus 21 will give me 5. All right, so let's go ahead and do the g of x function. So here we have, and I'm going to bring this over here, g of x. So the g of x function was x squared minus 4. Let me double check that. Okay, so we have x squared minus 4. G of x is x squared minus 4. So we're doing g of x squared minus 4, which means I'm plugging x squared minus 4 into this function right here, this box for x. Okay, so the x squared minus 4 gets put right there. So we have x squared minus 4 squared minus 4. And then I work that out. So I have x squared minus 4 times x squared minus 4 minus 4. So x squared times x squared will give me an x to the 4th. X squared times negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times x squared, negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times negative 4, positive 16, minus 4. Then I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to have x to the 4th minus 8x squared. And then 16 minus 4 will give me a positive 12. So g of x will give us x to the 4th minus 8x squared plus 12. And just a quick check up here, 36 minus 21 is not 5, is 15. Because apparently I cannot add and subtract today. All right, thank you.